It's June 14th, 2023. June 14th, 2023. Homestead, Florida, USA, Redland Farm area. This is Dennis Sietsma. Last night I got the fuel tank out of the 1994 Astro van, and today I'm going to replace the fuel pump and sending unit with a new unit. It's been years since I changed this. Time flies. I thought I had done this recently, but anyway, getting those clamps loose on the vehicle side, the compression clamps or hog ring or whatever you want to call them, are fiddly, so I think I'm going to go back with regular clamps that I can release or tighten with a screwdriver or 8mm. And I'm going to show you how to get the sending unit out of the fuel tank. But first I got to get those hoses removed from the fuel tank side, and I ought to paint them up or mark them with something, but for right now I'm just gonna get them off, and then I'll show you how to use a screwdriver to get that sending unit out of the tank. And you should use spark-free tools if you can anytime you work around gas. Brass tools are made, and special non-sparking tools you can get for working on batteries and around gasoline, but those are a little hard to find. When I worked for the federal government, we had some special non-spark tools like plastic wrenches. But anyway, this is a 20 and a 19mm to get those threaded lines off, and I like to use flange wrenches because those connectors can be really tight and difficult to get off. So that said, I'll get to work. Now I'm running out of time to work on this project. I have other priorities for my time, so if I don't get this back together and running soon, I'm going to have to postpone the rest of the activities on this van probably for 6 weeks. So warning to my audience, may take a while before I get back to this if I don't get it where I can drive it on the street again. And I don't have to replace this. The fuel pump I have is putting out enough pressure, but it showed like the check valve was leaking in the fuel pump or wasn't reliable. So new is better, and I had done damage to the fuel level sending unit when I was testing. Apparently the power goes through, I thought it went through the center pin, and or I thought it went through, anyway, I went on the wrong pins. But I was trying to power the fuel pump with a 12-volt battery directly, because there have been reports over the years of the wiring not being enough, well done enough to support the current as the pump ages. That's been some posts and reports. And the aftermarket ones normally come with their own wiring that is stronger and better. So we'll look into that right now. I want to make sure that before I take the old one out, that this is what I need. And let's take a look at it here before I get too far down the road. This is a Delphi unit, and it does have a new harness and all this stuff, so this ought to just go right in very easily. But before I do that, it's easier if I take it off while it's in the tank, these lines. And this is a 20mm to hold the big connector, the big nut, and this is looks like 16. Let's see. Yeah, 16. Okay. And that's not that bad. So now this got an O-ring here on the connector, so you don't want to lose that compression fit O-ring. And I laid it here in the orientation that it goes back on the same way. And then 20 millimeter on this side. And 16 or 18. 16. So their hose is in the way. Okay, got that. Oh my. Okay, so alright. It was 16 millimeter, not 18. I don't put my big fat head on video very often. I normally just talk, but okay, now this is interesting. This one is missing the O-ring. Let's see. I had one leaks there, so let's see if it's in the fitting. There's no O-ring on this one, so that could be a problem depending on if it's on the supply side or the other side. Now, this tool comes in handy, excuse me, burped, for these kind of things, because you can, and it holds the tension on it. Okay, and to release it, it's got a little release lever here on the side. I need two of these. I need one for left and right-handed. I only got one right now. Sometimes these tools you can change the orientation of the jaws here, and these have got circlips on there, so you could change it if you had to. Getting this line off is a bit fiddly, so, or difficult, or a challenge, or however you want to say it. And can't get a good grip on here to get this off. Okay, to pry it with a screwdriver to kind of help get it off, make it stretch out a little bit. And this is the original line, so it's from 1994, so we want to not break it if I can help it. Okay, it's coming. Alright, lay that like that. Now this last one is a little bit hard to get to because it was underneath here, but I bet this, I'm going to try to repair this old one and keep it for a spare, because I don't know why, but we have a lot of problems with fuel pumps on these General Motors in-tank. The VIN-W fuel pumps tend to fail a lot for some reason. And I did the vehicle side because I had better access. And I like to use never-sees on the bolts that hold the straps to hold the tank up. And this tank probably needs replacement too. But here's the magic part about how to get this out of here, is you look for the tang that you can pry your screwdriver under and just lightly tap it. And I haven't seen any good videos where people show how to do this, and there's more than one tang, so do one and then the other, because you want to make sure that the gasket underneath it is nice. Without, keep going until you get this to go all the way counterclockwise. I'm going counterclockwise with it, and got it loose. And now I'm carefully pulling out the old pump. Of course, everything's fighting me here. And the float arm. And There's some debris on the bottom of it that's pretty clean. Now this was a Bosch pump. Now this, we just have a straight line. We don't have the pulsator that goes here between the pump and the feed line. I had gone to a lot of trouble to get the pulsator in and out in the past, but now they don't use a pulsator at all, depending on who you ask. And this is the fuel level sending unit that I damaged by putting power on the wrong pins. And you know, I thought the power would be for the pump would be between the ground and the center, because the center was purple, but I actually found out that ground and purple was used for the fuel level. I found out the hard way by damaging it, and power was on the black with white tracer, and what's the other, gray. Yeah, unless I'm mistaken, but look it up online or look it up in the service manual before you. Don't put power on this thing unless you know what the hell you're doing. Like I did. I should have done more research, but I made a mistake. So anyway, now that I've got the old one out, I can focus on putting the new one in. And of course they got a lot of instructions on how to install it, like the new filter and how to not damage it putting it in. And we got bubble tape here on it. And some people say it's better to buy them as a complete assembly like this, because this way it's been assembled and tested properly. And I can't disagree with that. And here's your fuel sender. Now, fuel level sender. Now, I'm going to try to repair the old one, because I found I could get the part. I'm going to need to get some wire cutters. So hang on. So add wire cutters to your tools required list. You have to do this on the side of the road one day. And a lot of people report they do, that the tank, that it just, they lose fuel pressure, it just goes bad, and they're usually on a road trip when you're consuming a lot of fuel. But anyway, now it's nice, the new one even comes with the new attachments and the clips. So that's nice. I like that. And we got instructions to read later. Okay. This is taking me longer than I want it to, but add this to your tools list. And one of the reasons I do the videos is so I know what direction I need to put this. And before I put that in the tank, I think there's a gasket. Gasket I need to deal with. See if they gave me new gaskets. Yeah, they did. Okay, I got new O-rings and a new tank gasket and a new clamp ring that came with this kit. And this is the box is marked Delphi Technologies part number 29822-1, also marked DHP 10013 or HP 10013. That's how the box is marked. And go to the back. When I edit this video, I'll add my notes and I'll say, you know, how much it cost and where I bought it. That'll be in the slideshow at the end of the video when it's edited. This is just a video log for today. This is just a segment. And do-it-yourself repairs can be dangerous, and death and injury can result, so I always keep firefighting equipment. And you notice the vehicle's away from house or structure, but it comes, I can't lose these O-rings, so I'm going to put these in the box for a moment. But it comes with a new O-ring for the tank. or at least this one does, and a new attachment thing. So that said, I'm able to carry. Well, before I do all this, I'm gonna put the tank on its side because I want to get the gases in there out of there, or any rust or whatever that might be affecting me in the future. And of course it has the bottom shell here, and I'm gonna try to see what I can get out of this. It looks like I can't get anything out of it. I'm looking at the bottom of the tank. I don't see any rust or debris, and that's the problem with trying to do this, is sometimes you go to this much trouble and you still can't get anything out of it. And I see a lot of posts on my marine engine group where people are always saying, oh, I took the boat out and it don't run. It's a fuel, it ends up being a fuel delivery problem. This, of course, is usually the last thing you do, right? And a new fuel tank is sometimes a good thing. So, now how did I face this? Did I face it this way or the other way? Because this is why I take the video log, so I can remember how I had it. Was it like this or was it like this? I'm pretty sure it was like this. So I'll review the video and see what I find. And thanks for watching. It's about 8:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock. And this is John Sietsma. Dennis Sietsma, Homestead, Florida, USA, which is just a little south of Miami. Now, do-it-yourself work can be dangerous. You can have loss of life or injury. So leave this to the pros unless you're willing to take the risks involved. Do-it-yourself work at your own risk. And I do my do-it-yourself work because I like doing it. I like knowing what I got and what parts I used, as opposed to putting it in a shop and just hoping and praying that it comes out all right. Thanks for watching.